Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to ACS Sneakers. My name is Aiden. On today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the top 10 upcoming sneakers for the month of February. I know it's hard to believe that we're already on the 1st of February already, but there is so many incredible releases coming this month, which we will get into later on in the video. But before we get into that, I want to say a huge thank you to my returning viewers. Thank you as always for supporting me and this channel. And to any new viewers, welcome to the channel. We do release brand new sneaker content just like this each and every week. So do make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you never miss a video. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the intro. Quick disclaimer before we do go any further with this video, all this information does come courtesy from the Sole Supplier's website. I will leave a link in my description area below if you do want to check out the Sole Supplier as well as any of these releases in any more detail. I would also like to point out that the information that I'm going to provide you with is accurate as of today's date. However, a lot of the time, sneaker releases can change for any given reason, so they might be brought forward, pushed back, delayed, or even released as shock drops, so do take this information with a pinch of salt. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get it to number 1 on the list. And kicking us off on this list today, we are taking a look at the Air Jordan 5 Anthracite, scheduled to be releasing on the 5th of February for a retail price of £165. Now, I do actually find it quite odd that this hasn't already loaded onto the Sneakers app here in Europe. The only information that I've got about this release so far is that it's going to be available via raffle via the Size app. I do expect that this will be extended to further apps if this is actually going to be releasing on the 5th of February. However, what I do see more likely to happen is that this release is actually going to be pushed back and it's going to be removed from Size app any day now. But just in case the shoe does release, make sure to download Size Launches and get your raffle in. I do believe the entry is open in the next couple of days. I personally love this colorway, as I touched on a previous video. This is definitely something I want for my collection. I don't expect resale is going to be incredibly high, but with that said, I could be completely wrong. So if this shoe does release, I do expect that it will be available via raffle and sneakers as well. And next up on our list, we are taking a look at the Air Jordan 12 SE in the Super Bowl colorway, scheduled to be releasing on the 6th of February for a retail price of £163. Firstly, I just want to address the retail price. I'm not exactly sure why it is 163 instead of the usual 165. I'm not sure why they've, took a few quid off it. It doesn't really make much of a difference. It just seems a little bit odd in my opinion. As well, the fact that it is a low top sneaker does mean that I'm really not looking to add this into my personal collection. However, I am a huge fan of the colorway itself. It's a dead ringer for the flu game colorway that you might have already seen on the Jordan 12. But just in general, I'm just not a big fan of low top sneakers. And in terms of the release itself, it is already available via Sneakers app, but it's not yet been confirmed if this will be available via raffle, so do make sure you are checking out the raffles guide on the Sole Supplier's website, so if there is any raffle information, you don't miss it out. And next up on our list, we are taking a look at the Nike Dunk High in the dark curry colorway, releasing on the 6th of February for a retail price of £105. I personally am really excited for this release. I think the colour blocking is fantastic, and I have heard that it is a all suede upper or primarily suede upper, so I'm really interested to see how good the materials actually are in hand. I've already entered all my raffles for this one, and I will be trying to get it on release via Sneakers, but I don't really think it's going to be too difficult to get. In recent history, when it does come to the Dunk Highs, they've not done too well in terms of resale value. I do expect that it is going to sell out, and if you are interested in picking this one up, I would recommend entering as many raffles as possible. And next up on our list, we have the Air Jordan 1 High 85 in the neutral grey colourway, releasing on the 10th of February for a retail price of £165. Now, if you are new to the sneaker game and you don't really know about Jordan 1 prices, this is actually at a premium to other releases. The reason being is this particular colourway is actually retroing for the very first time since its actual release. Now, they are releasing in very limited quantities. I do believe it's only around 22 or even 23,000 pairs going to be available, and I do expect that that's going to be extraordinarily hard to get. In general, Jordan 1s are never the easiest to cop, but when it comes to such a limited release like this one, it's almost going to be impossible. But as I touched on a previous video, this is one of my favourite sneakers of the year. I personally am doing everything I can to get this pair for the personal collection. It's going to do extraordinarily well via resale. This is already available via Sneakers app. It hasn't yet been confirmed if it will be available via raffle. And next up on our list, we have the Trophy Room collaboration with Jordan Brand for the Air Jordan 1 Chicago, scheduled to release on the 10th of February for a retail price of £145. Now, there has actually been some controversy surrounding this release. It looks like some pairs actually made it out of the factories already and into the hands of resellers. Now, it looks like Marcus Jordan, the head of Trophy Room, and also Michael Jordan's son, has actually recently published that he's got some additional laces to add to this release. So any of those pairs that made it out of the factories already won't have these laces. So I'm not exactly sure if you're actually able to sell them on things like StockX and GOAT because of the fact that they won't have the laces. And quite often, if you do try and sell a sneaker through those platforms without the additional laces, they do get declined. I think that's kind of his way of spiting the resellers and anyone that's actually backdoored any of these pairs from his factory. And I do think it's quite an ingenious tactic in my opinion. I'm not exactly sure why I'm actually including it in this list. It's going to be impossible to get for the average person because these are actually releasing in even more limited quantities than what we saw with the Jordan 1 High Neutral Grey. This is going to be releasing solely on the Trophy Room website, so if you are able, try and do everything you can to get this shoe for retail. Resale has started to come down somewhat in the last couple of weeks. I've been watching a YouTuber under the name of Mr. Grey who has been tracking it and has lots of talking points to discuss in regards to the Trophy Rooms, so I will leave a link in my description area below. I'd highly recommend going to check out his channel. He makes incredible content and he goes really in depth about this specific release, so I couldn't recommend his content more highly. But once again, just to kind of reiterate, this shoe is going to be more or less impossible to get, but if you do manage to get it, resale is going to be extraordinarily high, and I do think everybody's going to try and get this pair. And next up on our list, we are taking a look at the Nike Dunk Low Retro in the Hyper Cobalt Black colorway. This is scheduled to be releasing on the 11th of February for a retail price of £89. Now, I recently mentioned in a previous video that we've actually seen a lot of the Dunk Lows actually decline in terms of resale price, and I think that's quite evident with quite a lot of the releases. However, when it comes to this one in particular, I think that's going to be completely different, and I can see a lot of people going for this release, and I do expect that resale is going to be extraordinarily high as well. I personally love this colorway. I don't have any dunks in my collection. I've had a few recently, nothing that's really stuck or I've really wanted to keep. This is very different and I definitely want this one for the personal collection. There's no confirmed information as yet whether it will just be a sneakers release or raffle. However, generally there are raffle for these types of releases. So I do expect that it will be on sneakers as well as raffle. And if you are interested, get as many raffle entries in as possible because like I say, resale is expected to be quite high. And next up on our list, we are taking a look at the Air Jordan 1 High in the Silver Toe colorway. This shoe is scheduled to be releasing on February 12th for a retail price of £140. Now, I actually touched on this release on my upcoming Jordan releases for spring, and I was really excited for this release. But since then, I've actually seen some in-hand pictures which have kind of put me off, to be completely honest. The quality on the shoe looks quite subpar, and it looks like they're pretty cheap materials, just based on the pictures I've seen since that video. It's not put me off enough in the sense that I'm not going to be going for this shoe. I do think it's a really fantastic colorway, and I am really excited to see what it actually looks like in hand. Like all Jordan 1s, I do expect that it will be available via raffle as well as on Sneakers app, and I do also expect that resale is going to be pretty high. And next up on our list, we are taking a look at the Nike Dunk Low in the medium curry colorway, scheduled to be releasing on the 19th of February for a retail price of £89. Now, I actually found out about this release via watching a Tom Stefanik video. Not sure if we have any Tom Stefanik fans watching my videos, but he went on to say something along the lines of this is probably one of the nicest shoes he's ever seen. Personally, I wouldn't go as far to say that. I do think it's a really interesting release, and it is definitely a shoe that I'm going for both for the personal collection as well as to be able to bring you guys a review. Like what we touched on with the dark curry colorway that's releasing earlier in February, I do expect that the shoe is going to be made out of very similar materials, as it does look like it's a primarily suede upper. I do expect resale is going to be really high on this release, and I do expect that it is going to be available via both Sneakers app and raffle as well. And next up, we are taking a look at another Jordan 1. This time it is the Air Jordan 1 in the University Blue colorway, scheduled to be releasing on the 19th of February for a retail price of £145. Now, I personally have already seen quite a few early reviews on this particular shoe. I want to give a huge shout out to Kicknology as well as Sneak Peeks with Josh, and I will leave both of their links in my description area below. I would highly recommend checking out their channels and checking out their reviews in general, just so you can get a better sense as to whether or not you do actually want this shoe for your own collection. Personally, I'm unsure if I actually would like to keep it or not. I'm definitely going all out to try and get it for a review at least. But when it actually does come to the shoe itself, I don't actually think it's going to work that well with the clothes I have in my wardrobe. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what it actually looks like in hand. I do expect that this shoe will be available via both raffle as well as on Sneakers app as well. And last but by no means least, we have the Air Jordan 4 in the Torped Haze colorway, scheduled to be releasing on February 27th for a retail price of £165. Just to point out, I'm not exactly sure if I said the name right, so I completely apologise if I butchered it. I do also think that this shoe was actually pushed back. I do remember seeing this on the Size Launches app earlier on in January, and it looks like it was either removed or just pushed back. But to be honest, I've seen quite a few early reviews of this shoe as well. It's not really blown me away just based on what I've seen. I'm still going to try and get the pair to be able to see it in hand myself. I do think a lot of the time when you actually see these reviews, they don't really give the full picture, and quite often I like a shoe a lot more when I actually do have it in hand. So I'm definitely going for this shoe for a review. If you are interested in picking up this pair, I do expect that it will be available via raffle as well as on Sneakers app as well. Now that just about wraps up my top 10 upcoming sneaker releases for the month of February. Let me know yours in the comment section below. And if you have stuck around to this point in the video, I want to say a massive thank you to absolutely every single person that is watching. If you are new to this channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.